guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I say you're not mine. I don't want love no more.
Forget that heat, bitch.
Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna leave, so I let you go. Guessing it was me, guess I never know. I don't want love no more, I'm sure. Cause I can't do this anymore. Give me that bag, girl, you got my soul. Look at Kelly dance to the girl I know. Try to let go, but she got control. Got my text on red, and your heart so blue. Didn't want love, but it's all I know. Thought I hit the lotto, she hit me with the follow. She just another model, but is she over 30K? She ain't gon' stay. Watch her run away, got another money chase. And she looks so good in that all white lace. And she let me get a taste, so I guess it ain't a waste. Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna leave, so I let you go. Guessing it was me, guess I never know. I don't want love no more, I'm sure. Cause I can't do this and I won't play this part no more. Part no more, behind closed doors. There's so much more. Your heart's not pure, your heart's not pure. I'm tired of sentimental, go and get a rental. Winning right now, but I know you love to settle. Everything you want, girl, I'm not that guy. And you use your tries on the last 10 times. I still can't be giving my trust. Every other girl now's way too sus. Even if it's shallow, then the shit still trust. It's way too much. Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna leave, so I let you go. Guessing it was me, guess I never know. I don't want love no more, I'm sure. Cause I can't do this anymore. Cause I can't do this anymore. Cause I can't do this anymore. Cause I can't do this anymore.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up and then the shot dies. When my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Switch my whip, came back in black, I'm starting saying rest in peace to Bon Scott. Close that door, we blowing smoke. She asked me light a fire like a Martian. Act a fool on stage, probably leave my fucking show in a cop car. She was legendary through a TV at the window of the montage. Cocaine on the table, liquor pouring, don't give a damn. Dude, your girlfriend is a groupie, she just trying to get in. Saying I'm with the band. Ay, ay. Now she acting out of pocket, trying to grab up on my pants. For the bitches in my trailer city ain't got a man. And they all brought a friend. Yeah, I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up and then the shot dies. When my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta. I've been in the hills, fucking superstars, feeling like a pop star. Drinking Henny, bad bitches, jumping in the pool and they ain't got a mobile. Hit her from the back, blowing on the tracks and now she's screaming out, no mas. They like savage, why you got 12 cars around and you only got 6 cars. I am with the cake and how you kiss that. Your wife, you say I'm looking like a whole stack. Green hundreds in my safe, I got old racks. LA bitches always asking where the coke at. Living like a rock star, smash out on a cop car, sweeter than a pop tart. You know you are not her. I done made a hot shot, never used to trap hard. Living like a rock star, living like a rock star. I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up, they in the shot dots. When my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta.
Hey everyone, how's it doing? It's been a while. Apologies for that, first off. Took a bit of a break there from doing morning streams, But, we're going to get back into the groove, and we shouldn't really be taking breaks anytime soon now. We have a dedicated topic for the show today, as you can tell by the title. But I saw this. I saw Bunk posted this. And so I really want to check out, and I want to see what this is, because apparently he spoke to Flam again, and I kind of want to see the chaos that was caused by that.
Hey, hold on. Yo, Flamenco.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, Bunk is supposed to fight Flamenco, but Flamenco doesn't understand that in order to get the contract for the fight, you need to show that you've been training. But he says he isn't going to train until he gets a contract. So effectively, he's refusing the fight.
Buddy,
Oh, hi.
buddy, how's the training going? Like, unironically. Are you actually doing this shit?
Yeah, just mostly working out right now.
Yeah, can you just, please, just record literally anything? Because I want to get this, contract locked in. Unironically. I can't, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I kind of can't afford to lose the money on this.
All right. Give me I guess.
By the way, if you guys remember, it was revealed that Flam hates his mother because they forced him to be off the internet for a bit. So I mean, Flamenco, you gotta look at it like this: you get the money, you get to move out. That's all I'm saying, man. You gotta think of it that way. Get the money, you can move out, you can do whatever you want.
It's like a couple of weeks since I just started the lifting part.
Yo, you can record,
It's been a couple of weeks since you did the lifting part. My God, come on.
your first initial lifts. I don't know why you need a couple weeks to do that. You can just, record
Oh, okay.
first.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you just record, the initial lift. Be like, oh, yeah, I'm starting.
Maybe.
And then it's also kind of cool because it's oh yeah, here's where I started. This is where I'm at. You know what I mean? But yeah.
All right.
Okay, sick. Appreciate it, my dude. I don't think he's doing it. Hey, everybody. I wanted to give a little bit of an update on how the lifting is going because I've been posting on and off my lifts to Twitter, been showing you guys how far I'm running, things like that. But I never actually given some kind of narration over it to tell you guys what's going on with the fight.
First off, Persona 5 music. Automatic W right
As far as I'm concerned, the updates to it, all of this and that. So the big thing is I have gained about 6 pounds over the course of the last couple of weeks, about a month, something like that. I want to say it's maybe been a month and a half, 2 months. So about a pound per week has been around what we've been shooting for so far. And the physique update, I mean, it's going pretty well. I can't say I'm unsatisfied by it. The weight's come on quite nice. I've been trying to eat very, very strictly. The diet has been completely compromised by my nutritionist, Jash. You've seen him all on Twitter. I've talked to him on live stream before. And I've been making sure to go hard as I possibly can in the gym, which has been a big thing for me, I think. There's a quote by a famous
Sorry, my dog is, if you hear that, my dog is very, very protective of my brother, and she hears the school bus, and now now she sees him leaving. But yeah, that's Punk. I'm happy for him, really. I mean, on top of him getting to do the fight, like, it's just gonna be healthier for him overall. Hopefully Flam does not back out of this fight, because oh my god, Flam would get made fun of so much for just everything if he decided, you know what, no, I'm not gonna do this fight. Like, this is, I feel like if this is like Flam's one chance to get redeemed, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he don't do this, he gone, he donezo. I mean, he's already been blackballed, but, like, you know, fully blacklisted, you know? It'd just be done for him at that point. But yeah, we're going to be going over some of the Jim Sterling. Okay, so I'm going to assume the people watching probably either don't know who he is or don't know who she is, and don't know who she is or don't remember who she is. Jim Sterling is a video game review channel and makes a lot of videos on the state of the gaming industry, does individual reviews on games. They had a series called Jimquisition. If you don't know, a couple years ago, they transitioned into I want to get this right, a feminine presenting non-binary person. So they are non-binary, but they dress as a woman. If that makes any sense to you guys. But yeah, you guys know Hogwarts Legacy, the evil transphobic game, is out now, and boy golly, people are upset with this game because of J.K. Rowling, who, for all intents and purposes, had nothing to do with the game development. Guys, let's be honest here. If people are still gonna like H.P. Lovecraft stories, people are still gonna like Harry Potter, no matter what. You know what? In 10 years from now, heck, maybe 5 at this point, whenever they do the Harry Potter remakes or the sequel trilogy or whatever, right? Whenever a new piece of Harry Potter media comes out, it's going to get supported. Because a majority of people IRL, it's only the internet people who I've seen complain about the game. The majority of people IRL do not care. And not in a harsh way. They don't care about what J.K. Rowling says. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, J.K. Rowling is always going to be, I feel like she's a billionaire at this point, if not high tier millionaire. You know, she's on the A tier list, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if you boycott the next 15 Harry Potter projects. She's still going to keep her, like, 5 mansions that she has. No matter what you do. So why deprive yourself of a good story that doesn't even have anything, that she doesn't even have any involvement in? Because guess what? Other people who are involved in these types of projects, majority of the time, are not transphobic. Heck, they might be gay themselves or trans. You're just, I believe, she has talked about wanting workers' rights before in the gaming industry. But you're literally going to deprive these people of a job if you want to boycott them. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it doesn't affect the publisher. Guess what? The publisher goes, oh, that was a bad game by the studio. They drained us money. Guess what? We're shutting them down. That's usually... We've seen this happen so many times with EA and Activision. With studios that did not deserve it whatsoever. So the only people you're affecting with the whole you need to never buy a single thing of Harry Potter again, so don't buy this game. you're only affecting the people who are developing the game. And that's just the fact. But let's see what Jim has to say. Maybe she has a unique take. Who knows? Although the video is titled Hogwarts: A Legacy of Hate. Let's go, shall we?
It starts.
Nah, I don't care. It's stupid. Harry Potter is stupid, and it's about time someone said it was bad, because nobody in the history of ever has ever suggested that Harry Potter is bad. I'm a trendsetter. No, but it is stupid, though.
You know, this reminds me of? It reminds me of all the Christian parents who, like, didn't want their kids playing Harry Potter because it was going to convert them to Wiccanism. Which, you know what? They were probably right, because you know how many white women now claim that they're Wiccans? Like, yeah, I practice indigenous magic because it connects me to the earth.
Right? We're supposed to believe that wizards and the wizarding world is so much superior to the muggles, right? We've got phones. They use owls.
Oh, well, also, too, just the fact that... okay, if we're going to go with this line of thinking. Also, too, there's just the fact of the guns. I'm just saying, the whole plot of Harry Potter would not happen if... if Voldemort was carrying a 9mm instead of a wand. I'm just saying, the power of love could not protect a bullet.
Chuds. Right? If fucking Hagar the Horrible, right, bicycled into my fucking house and went, "Oh, you're a wizard, Stephanie," I'd probably be excited at first. I'd be all, "Oh, that's brilliant, Hagar the Horrible. How do we go? Am I going to go in a car?" What? No! We don't ride cars in the wizarding world. We fly about on flippity-doos. What's a flippity-doo? Well, first of all, you gotta get yourself an 8-legged one. We're not gonna get on. Right, I insist on bringing my 3DS. Hagar, have you got wall chargers? What's wall chargers? Oh dear. Okay then, so what do you do for entertainment? Oh, it's brilliant. We eat sweets that make you do elephant noises.
Okay, yeah,
what?
okay, lovely skip.
And what is the
Lovely
shit with the all
skip.
flavour-
Let's skip to, like, an actual point.
J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. This is a fact. It's a fact I've never seen disputed in good faith, only challenged by fellow transphobes who have a pre-baked line since these people read from the same script. What did
That's right. If you disagree, you're also a transphobe. You gotta love.
she say
That.
exactly that's transphobic? Rowling couches her hatred in plausible deniability, but her daily obsessive takes on us, her constant comparisons of
On us. Okay. I actually need to blow this up a bit so that we can read it. As I have said, gender confirmation certifications may now be granted without any need for surgery or hormones. Then you open the door to any and all men who wish to come inside. That is simply the truth. So she oh god, can I say the word? Is that ban worthy on YouTube if I say the group because they're trying to make it a hate group? She's the thing that they call extreme feminists who don't like trans women. Anyway, she's a third wave feminist. So she hates men. Absolutely hates men. She hates men so much that the idea of a man becoming a woman is irritating. It irritates her to the nth degree. And there's a lot of women who think like that. There's a lot of men who think that way too, in terms of like women becoming men. This is just a grenade of issues right here. Oh my god.
trans women to men, her verbatim repetition of gender-critical talking points makes her feelings clear. She follows, is best friends with, and outright claims to be one of the many prominent TERFs, trans-exclusive radical feminists these days rebranded to gender criticals.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, he said it. I mean, shoot. She said it. So, YouTube, please don't take my stream down. It was a trans person who said the word.
Her slide into open fascism as a result has been horrifying. She is a fan of Matt Walsh, a fascist so into fascism that he self-describes as
A fascist so into fascism. Again, okay, this is gonna be irritating for you guys because I gotta blow this up, but I respect the courage that you've shown on this issue, J.K. Rowling, but many people have simply caved to the demands of trans activists and completely surrendered the truth to the reality to them. The cowards are also villains in this story. They need to be held accountable. Okay, I doubt Matt Walsh is an actual fascist, you know? Not a lot of people tend to like that idea. People, oh god, if we get Tommy C to comment on this issue, he'll talk about how trans women, how the trans activists are the Nazis. But, you know, I digress. Let's continue.
one and has made a career from accusing LGBTQ+ people of the very pedophilia he himself seems to be a fan of. She's liked tweets from the
That's defamatory right there. What? Wait. What evidence? What did I miss there? Hang on. What evidence has he shown of right-wing troll busted defending teen pregnancy while he was opposing trans teens? But he's okay. That's a bit. He's a conservative, so hopefully he means when they're married. Who knows?
He himself seems to be a fan of. She's liked tweets from the abjectly abhorrent Libs of TikTok account.
Oh no, not Libs of TikTok. Not the evil account Libs of TikTok. Oh no. You know, if you don't want to give these people so much power, don't make them out like a boogeyman, you know? Guess what? If you ignore something, 9 times out of 10, it goes away. It's an amazing thing, really. Because if you just ignore something, it sometimes just goes away. Not like actual real life problems, you know? Like obviously like don't ignore your responsibilities. But you know, like people who are mean to you online, guess what? If you don't give them attention, they ignore you. I know it's weird.
A notorious right-wing platform that outs queer people and is used to organise attacks against drag shows as well as threats against hospitals. She retweets unscientific drivel by queerphobes like Baroness Nicholson. She stands with Maya Forstater, who, after losing her job at a progressive organisation over demeaning anti-trans comments, has dedicated her life to combating trans rights. She once sent accidental transphobic profanity to a 9-year-old girl after pasting a comment from an anti-trans website she was reading and copying at the time. She called criticism of this censorship and authoritarianism, seeming to defend her right to rope kids into her obsession. And she is obsessive. Scroll through her Twitter and you'll find that she thinks about trans people all day, every day. She herself has fought against Scotland's gender recognition reforms, scaremongering and spreading outright lies about a law that would simply make being trans a tiny bit easier. She still has the nerve to act offended at accusations of phobia while literally campaigning against our basic rights and legal dignity. At first, she tried to keep up the mask of someone who supports trans people but just has concerns and wanted to protect women's spaces, a long-time gender-critical dog whistle. She
A gender-critical dog whistle. I mean, look, if you're a natural-born woman, we'll just say cisgender. If you're a cis woman, and there's a trans woman in your space, I can understand why you might be a bit hesitant in accepting them. Not because you're necessarily transphobic, but because modern feminism has taught women that all men are evil. This is what modern feminism has taught women. All men are extremely evil, and they are out to get you no matter what. When you're given that type of paranoia constantly, yeah, I can understand why the thought of a man claiming to be a woman and trying to infiltrate your space might make you hesitant on accepting them. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's understandable. Because again, I blame at least third wave feminism for the way people act. But let's continue.
Claimed her liking of transphobic tweets was just her fingers slipping, honest, and now she's an ardent supporter of Helen Joyce.
While we're trying to get through to the decision makers, we have to try to limit the harm. And that means reducing or keeping down the number of people who transition. Every one of those people is basically, a huge problem to a sane world. Like, if you've got people that, and whether they're transitioned, whether they're happily transitioned, whether they're unhappily transitioned, whether they're detransitioned, if you've got people who've dissociated from their sex in some way, every one of those people is someone who needs special accommodation. Every one of them is a difficulty.
Oh dear.
That's someone J.K. Rowling agrees with, platforms, is a friend of. Indeed, the people Rowling champions are fucking monsters. Here's GC figurehead Posey Parker telling cis men to patrol women's bathrooms on the hunt for trans women.
Talking about you dads who maybe carry, I think that's what you say. I'm so down with the American lingo. Maybe you carry, maybe you don't. Maybe you consider yourself a protector of women. Maybe you're that sort of man. Maybe you have a daughter or a mother or a wife. Maybe you have a sister. Maybe you just have some friends. Maybe you just think women are human and you don't need any absolute connection with them to feel compelled to protect us. I think you should start using women's toilets, men.
So much for keeping women's spaces for women. Of course, Rowling has tried to be smart. She doesn't record herself outright repeating the violent sentiment. No, she contents herself with laughing at us.
That's how I saw him.
I will never tell this to anyone, so hopefully not with a transgender person.
What the heck interview is this?
It's such a pleasure.
Her slimy, cowardly behaviour goes back years. What's shown in this video so far is just from stuff I started collecting in the past year because I knew this subject was inevitable. While she's been careful enough not to use plainly direct hate speech, I don't think her deniability is close to plausible anymore. Look at the lies she tells, the fascists she supports. Look at how much she talks about us. This is not what someone who doesn't loathe us does. This is the...
By the way, this video has 33k likes, all right? But then it has 23k dislikes. Now, I know the likes are technically more than the dislikes, but that's still a concerning number for when you say a social issue, right? Let's see. I like how you don't hesitate to answer for the 2 shots to the snake. That starts. It was perfect. Let's see. It'd be fun to make. Let's see. But okay. I was usually when you have that massive amount of dislikes, there's a few comments, but I don't know, maybe she's gotten rid of a few of them. That'd be my guess.
The activity of someone with a genuine, deep-seated problem. You don't have to believe me. You can believe the Harry Potter cast members who've condemned her. You can believe the historians who've catalogued a clear timeline of her descent into frothing bigotry. Or, if you'd rather, Believe the Republican politicians who are actually citing her words in their anti-LGBTQ+ legislative efforts. Believe the virulently right-wing male supremacy group Honey Badgers who call JKR their queen. Believe the photos of her at GC meetings. Believe the trans exclusionary women's shelter she set up to replace the trans inclusive women's shelter that her movement bullied and harassed out of operation. Or maybe just believe J.K. Rowling when she says it is dangerous to assert that any category of people deserves a blanket presumption of innocence. She meant trans people, of course, but if she's right, then hell, she gets no presumption either. She is a TERF, loud and proud, Merry Turfmas, as she would say, and has said.
Oh dear.
I've been out as a trans femme now for over 2 years. With my coming out, much about the world around me has changed, be it through my new perspective or the difference in treatment I receive. There's a lot of good. I'm complimented by sweet old ladies who like my boots. I'm hit on by lesbians in Leeds. People in general say nice things about me and I feel more comfortable saying them back. Mostly, I'm more confident. I like who I am and how I look, things that weren't true before. But while good things happened, and to be honest, 90% of people really don't care if I'm trans or not, there are negatives. It's no secret what it did to my career. The way in which I'm criticised online changed. Suddenly I was diagnosed.
Oh my, this is you people don't watch me anymore because I'm trans. No, people stopped watching your content because instead of talking about video games, you became overtly political. And it's not that they're bothered, it's not that they don't want you to talk about politics, because if you can talk about politics if you want, but if you continue doing so, they're not going to watch you. That's just how it is, right? If you go to a channel for a certain thing, and then out of the blue, it becomes mainly about another topic, I can understand why people wouldn't want to watch that. You know? Like, for example, with me, it took a bit because for a while, I was only a review channel. I used to do reviews of games, movies, etc. People stopped watching her because they realized she was extremely miserable. Yeah. Exactly. Like, I like cynicism. You know, I like cynical content. But if it's like just you complaining about something over and over and over again without a punchline, it gets tiring, you know? Like, I don't want to be, believe it or not, I don't want to be miserable every day of my life. So yeah, people are
diagnosed by commenters as mentally ill. My age comes up a lot now, and my writing is tone policed, accused of being rude and screeching where it wasn't before. But most of all, the world has become scarier. Scarier because of the right-wingers calling us all groomers and engaging in violence against us. Scarier because of the GOP and Tories scapegoating us and legislating our rights away with increased ferocity. Scarier because of media outlets like the BBC engaging in transphobia as a matter of policy. Scarier because of the people JKR has emboldened with her support. The gender criticals who preach eugenics and partake in phrenology to call for our eradication. Scarier because culturally and legally and increasingly physically, we've been staring down the barrel of genocide for a long, long time. If you're not trans...
Oh my god. Jim Sterling, they're out to kill me. They're out to kill me, everyone, because I'm trans. No, that's... Jim, that's not how it goes. Just letting you know, Jim.
You're not so aware of how there's a new attack on us and our rights multiple times a day, every day, you won't quite know how bad it is. It's horrific. It's exhausting. We're less than 2% of the population, but we're called an epidemic. We're demonized in the press with extremely disproportionate coverage, and wealthy, powerful people like JKR can't stop thinking about us. Look, some people might be delighted to hear this from me, but I'm going to admit it plainly. I'm afraid. I'm really
yeah, we couldn't tell beforehand, Stephanie. We couldn't tell. You know, the constant paranoia about how everyone's a fascist, like anyone who's ever been critical of you is a fascist. Yeah, that doesn't That doesn't scream paranoia whatsoever. No. What? You gotta be crazy not to believe that, right? I swear to God.
Afraid. And every day, for months, I've seen a video game that directly benefits one of the largest sources of that fear promoted on the PlayStation
Here's
Store
where the
and
video
Xbox
games come
Live,
in.
hyped up by the gaming press and championed by a community with a long-running vein of transphobia running through it that goes back to the hateful protests against a bit-part trans NPC in Dragon Age Inquisition. Every day, a constant reminder that we as trans people have so few friends, so few allies. Every day, a reminder that the game industry and community are contemptuous.
Because you want to be a Hufflepuff in Hogwarts Legacy, you are actively against trans people. That's the logic here. I just want to ride a broom. Why you got put me in a hate group, man? Come on.
You know, as much as y'all gamers TM have tried, you've not owned me by posting the glowing review scores for Hogwarts Legacy or boasting about its sales success.
It reviewed well. What do you want people to do? It's like if you remove J.K. Rowling from the picture, because other than her lending the IP, she has nothing to do with this game. Absolutely nothing. She just like, oh, you want to get another game out? Sure, I guess. Here. I guarantee you that's how the conversation went. The average Jin video talks about transphobia.
That just proves what I knew. That people don't give a fuck. That's not new information. It's not a surprise. It's half of the course. That's all. Those of you actively trying to harass me over it aren't the actual offensive ones. No, the offense comes purely from the self-described allies who want to have it both ways, who want to play their wizard game and get really upset when criticized over it. Or the media outlets who justify their uncritical reviews by having the
Yeah. But I mean, believe it or not, you can enjoy a piece of media while condemning the actions of the author or creator outside of that work. You know, a lot of people criticize H.P. Lovecraft, but people still enjoy Lovecraftian stories. Not every person who plays a Call of Cthulhu game, you know, hates minorities. It's just that's so what happens with the creator, you know? It's you can't have a nuanced conversation.
To compare our protests against them to fucking Gamergate. Transphobes, you need to up your game, because none of you will ever be as insulting as a self-styled cis ally who wants trans people's permission to not take a stand. Oh, and I love how the same gamers TM who spent nearly 10 years calling game reviewers corrupt suddenly started trusting and touting them when a game they rallied around got 8s and 9s. Some of them even tried to twist Gamergate's ethics in game journalism pretext to defend outlets like IGN from criticism. IGN! Suddenly, the Ethics Brigade are standing for IGN, the Too Much Water website, the site whose credibility they've done nothing but meme. Way to prove that you've only ever wanted to be agreed with. You'll suddenly stop believing reviewers were paid off and attacked me when I posted what I'd heard from a Warner Brothers contact, that WB stacked the deck and only gave review code to outlets it trusted to give positive reviews. Like, that wasn't even a shocking revelation. It's a known fact this happens. An expected practice. I've covered the deck stacking elimination of wildcard reviewers for years, but now I'm lying. Now game reviews are above board. Oh, by the way, I've never believed game reviewers are paid off. That's not what happened with Hogwarts. Reviews aren't high stakes enough that publishers are gonna bribe over it. No, the sad thing is that there doesn't have to be bribery. Search engine optimization is all outlets need to keep covering games as enthusiastically as possible. Hell, they wouldn't even refuse to cover Ubisoft games after all the sex abuse. They can't be trusted to do the right thing. While I don't think game critics outright lie, I think they have an incentive to not rock the boat, to do conspicuous things like, say,
litter a Hogwarts Legacy review with so many negative statements, it sounds like shit, and then give it a 9 out of 10 regardless. From a general fear of controversy to wanting to avoid Gamer Boy harassment and, of course, maintaining a good enough relationship with publishers to keep having access, they've plenty of reason to go soft on big-name games. I left The Escapist in 2014 because parent company Defy Media refused to publish my review of Assassin's Creed Unity and jeopardise their relationship with Ubisoft. I'm famously blacklisted by Konami for being such a harsh critic.
Well, that I don't get, because they have zero punctuation as a show. It's their headliner for The Escapist. And that dude's critical on everything, even good games. So it does, like, that's something I actually want to look into, why Jim was let go of by The Escapist. Because it doesn't because if I remember correctly, zero punctuation was just as harsh, if not harsher, to Assassin's Creed Unity. So it doesn't make sense that they didn't want any harsh press of the game out, because again, they had zero punctuation.
The PR company 47 told me EA wouldn't send me review copies because I'm a wild card. The only access I get in gaming comes from sources acting alone that need anonymity because they're not allowed to talk to me. My standing in the industry, that is to say, no standing, is the result of doing everything my former peers are incentivized not to do. I burned every bridge I had for not wanting to play with deeply corrupt organizations, and I'm proud of it. I also acknowledge that I can afford to not play in that sludgy water. Most reviewers can't. I scarcely blame them for the system they're stuck in. I've been there, I know how it is, and I don't think reviewers are unethical so much as forced to compromise with unethical companies while in the thrall to the all-important SEO. They're not paid off, but as we've seen with Hogwarts Legacy and with how quickly they wanted to move on from mentioning Ubisoft and Activision's abuse in their game coverage, not many of them have any damn principles. Multiple times in the past few years, press outlets had opportunities to make a stand. They did not. So yeah, to the born-again Potter fans who spammed me with screenshots of IGN's big ol' 9, I'm not sure what y'all proved other than your own hypocritical opportunism. You'll be back to calling game reviewers SJW soon enough, won't you? I know I'm not changing any more.
Who wants to bet that the entirety of the people who were sending her the screenshots were probably like one or two people, but she's taking it as like this major thing of like, holy crap, everyone's against me. That's probably the case, because that's usually what I've seen before on Twitter. Like, people who make it out like, the people are against me. It's usually like, it's usually like one or two people, but like they can't let the one or two people go. They have to respond to some degree. I know there was another, let's see, Jim Sterling, Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah. I should get a video by I can never pronounce his name. Frintagna. He was during like the Quantum TV stuff. He did this as a stream. Shoot. I thought this was a video. Shoot. Crap, I wanted you guys to hear another creator's take on it. I guess I can link the stream later on.
Minds here. The bigots and Potter fans and people who just want to enjoy a video game made their decision. The allies who want to separate art from artists or hate JKR.
But just want to enjoy the game. Like, why can't people just enjoy games for fun? Why are they not allowed to? Jim, you take video games too seriously. Because apparently no one's allowed to just enjoy a video game. Also, what's up, Assassin? Yeah, Yahtzee is a tough critic, but this guy got fired for being a tough critic? Okay, LOL. My girl, my bad. What's up, lads? Yo, what's up? Oh, better be careful, Assassin. You're gonna be you're part of the hate group now, Assassin. Hope you know that. How dare you, good sir? You're the reason why. you're the reason why Jim fears for her life. How dare you, good sir?
But just always wanted to Skyrimmer Hogwarts made their decision. And regardless of intent, all of you look exactly the same to J.K. Rowling. See, while people have tried to justify Hogwarts' legacy by saying JKR had no direct involvement, that doesn't change the fact she makes direct money from sales. More importantly, it doesn't change...
She makes direct money from sales no matter what. It's Harry Potter. And you boycotting it doesn't really affect her money. Like, instead of buying 2 yachts, she'll have to buy 1 yacht. Real downgrade, I know.
Change the truly insidious aspect of Harry Potter's continued success. JKR takes it as explicit endorsement of her views. She thinks the success of Harry Potter means people agree with her, and she's said so before. There is no difference in hers.
Well, if that's what she truly thinks, she's an idiot. You know, just because, again, I brought up the example earlier. Just because I buy an anthology of H.P. Lovecraft stories doesn't mean I agree with H.P. Lovecraft's views. It just means I enjoy the stories.
Or any other turf's mind between the people who bought Hogwarts because they wanted a fun wizard game and the people spite buying it to demonstrate the powerlessness trans people already feel. Intent doesn't matter. You're all just supporters to her.
Intent doesn't matter. You're a supporter. Jim Sterling. That is such a brain dead take. Absolutely brain dead.
You are all permission. This is why you aren't an ally if you buy Hogwarts Legacy. No, buying the game doesn't make you a transphobe, and I'm tired of hearing the self-martyring whinging about that. I'm not saying you're transphobic for buying Hogwarts Legacy. I'm saying you're not an ally. You handed that card in because you couldn't do the barest minimum. You couldn't make the simplest stand. It's not that hard to not buy a AAA video game. You chose a product.
It's also not that hard to get mad over a AAA video game. Ooh, how the tables have turned on that one. Shockingly, guys, it's very easy not to get mad at video games. You simply ignore it. In fact, you want to complain about the sales so much? Well, guess what? Much like how the Christian conservative parents would always complain about how there's violence in this video game, there's swearing in this video game. Guess what? That made it more appealing. You fear-mongering the game, talking about how dangerous the game is. You're doing exactly what the conservative Christians did to, ironically, Harry Potter in the beginning, to other video games as well, and sits in an echo chamber all day. Yeah, really. But tell me I'm not off on that, Assassin. I think you're old enough to remember. Do you not remember conservative Christian parents or conservative Christian groups always demonizing a game, and the game sounded more appealing? Whenever a Grand Theft Auto game came out back in the early 2000s. With how dangerous they made the game sound, they make it sound more fun, to be honest. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's a game you're not supposed to be playing. You give it that unintentional appeal. And that's why that's why the conservative Christian groups never succeeded. And I'm glad they never succeeded, because they try to take fun away way too much.
Over people, and in doing so you helped J.K. Rowling say things like this when asked how it feels to have alienated so many queer fans.
I read my most recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away pretty quickly.
That's what you do. You empower a fascist-supporting transphobe. Some of you celebrate that you've done it. Some of you wring your hands and excuse it. The result's the same. So enjoy! Not a single one of you are under any obligation to refuse this game. I'm not demanding it of you, and I'm not going to say you're an inherently bad person for it. But I do not trust you. I can't count on you. Can't think you have our backs. I can't feel safe with you. And sorry, but you don't get to feel hurt by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it baffles me how the left has turned into this. It's whatever group's in control. That's how it is usually. The conservatives were in control for like the 90s and early 2000s, so they felt like, you know, they could push around like, hey, this is unacceptable behavior, this, that, and the other. Now the left has been in control for at least a decade, if not more. So now they get to determine what is and isn't okay to show.
You get to enjoy your media product. I get to remember every digital storefront that took a Hogwarts sponsorship, every games journalist that promoted it, every platform and company that embraced it, and I get to remember that when Pride Month rolls around and the performative allyship begins. Your rainbow logos won't count for shit.
Yeah. This implies people wanted Jim's approval. True, yeah, this does imply that.
Hardly needs to be said, but any of you who claimed you bought it to support the developers can especially get in the bin. Oh, they worked hard and should be supported. That's probably the dumbest attempt to lionize consumerism I've ever seen. I've seen this excuse so much, and I'm like, how dare you? How dare you lie to me so fucking...
Yeah, it's the reason why Marilyn Manson became so popular in the 90s. He gave Christian conservatives the middle finger, and they thought he was the Antichrist, which made him appealing to the youth. Yeah, he had this strange look to him, so alien, and, you know, he was doing weird songs, and he dressed weird for stage performances. So yeah.
Fucking brazenly. You don't buy games just to support developers, you buy them because you want to play them. Tell me, do you buy literally every single game that's ever made and released? If you're motivated purely by dev support, that's what you do, right? Every game is developed.
I didn't even know who Jim was until this stream. So Jim is an old school reviewer. He's been doing this stuff for, God, at least a little, maybe around 10 years or so, right? Jim, his most famous drama that he was in was a Digital Homicide studio drama, where he made fun of Digital Homicide's games and they tried to sue him. And everyone has backpack thing, because obviously that is just ridiculous to do. And how dare you, Greta, come? How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, I hate seeing Jim go down this path. He's been bleeding subscribers like crazy, by the way. Like, the amount of support he's lost has just been insane.
Developed by game developers, so why aren't you buying every game? Every single one? Get the fuck out of here with that blatant bullshit. Of course it's bollocks from a results standpoint too. The devs got paid already. They get paid for their work up front. Unlike JKR, they don't get royalty checks. They're not the ones supported by your purchase. She is.
Well, actually, what happens is, you know, when a game studio makes a successful game and the game gets bought a lot, the studio therefore is allowed to keep the lights on and they can work for another few months. That's the amazing thing about buying the product of a company. If you buy the product, the company gets to last a little while longer.
Warner Brothers is. Those are the beneficiaries. As we've discussed on this show before, game studios mostly...
So she fell from grace. Yeah, it was... I think there was always a hint of political stuff in her videos, but like throughout like the past 5 years, 5 or 6 years, it's been nothing but politics almost. Games has become a secondary.
live or die regardless of the success of one game, and thanks to the way public companies work, they're sometimes hurt by it, as layoffs often follow an influx of revenue to maintain the illusion of financial growth. Corporations don't operate based on customer support. If they did, we'd get more single-player games and fewer ones based around financially exploiting a minority of whale players. You're not supporting the devs that tossed in a token trans character called Sir Owner Ryan, explicitly to try and steer us all away from the subject of J.K. Rowling. Support wasn't even your intent. That's a retroactive justification for something you were always going to do. And honestly, fuck any of you who've come at me in the past few months with that excuse or any other excuse that attempts to paint your purchase of a video game in a noble light. You're not noble. You're not a fucking hero. Play the game if you must, but don't you dare tell me you did it for any reason other than self-service.
Isn't that the majority of reasons why people play video games? For self-service and self-pleasure? Call me crazy, but I've never been virtuous, like, oh yes, I'm playing this game because I'm helping the poor orphans in Africa. No, I'm playing the game because I think the game's fun, and I think the game looks interesting. Like, what?
Don't you ever look to me for validation, expect me to assuage your guilt, toss hypothetical scenarios at me that you think allow you to have it both ways. Just play your fucking wizard game. How you feel about that is not my problem. You clearly decided how we feel isn't yours. Cis feelings aren't our responsibility. It's so telling that the only real coverage of alleged harassment in games media this week has been about...
Cis feelings aren't our responsibility, but trans feelings are cis people's responsibility? Does that make sense? Does that make sense, everyone? Does that make sense? I don't think it does.
About cis streamers getting upset at some mild pushback. It's a really old play. Whenever trans people advocate for themselves, we're painted as unreasonable bullies. Unsurprisingly, I've been asked to answer for the alleged harassment because minorities are always expected to take responsibility for each other. You know what? I'll answer it when I can go a day online without someone saying something truly vile about me.
But but I'm supposed to be responsible for what Gamer 42069 said about you? Like, that kind of feels like what you're trying to say there. No one's feelings is your responsibility. LOL. Tell that to her. But yeah, it's really hypocritical there.
When I can stream without harassment myself, when I can post a selfie without being called a man or getting some other derogatory comment, when what trans people go through gets as much attention in the press, and when I feel people give as much of a shit about all of us as one cis person. If all that happens, I'll prostrate myself before you on behalf of all transes everywhere. Until then, this'll do.
Checked out the big one that they're hailing as like the innocent streamer who got harassed off of the live stream. And what I have learned is that y'all genuinely think that accountability and basic criticism is the same thing as harassment and discrimination. Here we have somebody saying OMG transphobia because obviously they think that it's a big joke. And then, well, that's kind of disappointing. Then we have yikes. Then we have, yeah, I don't care how much you donate to Trevor Project. I'm done. Unfollowed so fast. Sorry, can't support this. Goodbye. Very disappointed.
By the way, Turkey Tom's cover it. There are VTubers who have been doxxed because they played the game. Outright doxxed. Because they played Hogwarts Legacy. They didn't have any political stance. They played Hogwarts Legacy, and they got doxxed for it. There's an entire website that's been dedicated to tracking people who play the game on Twitch. So that way you can look up their information. I get it. J.K. Rowling's statements bother you. I understand that. But people are literally just playing a video game. Jim doesn't represent all trans people, yet J.K. Rowling represents all transphobic people. Yeah.
pointing. You can really feel the discrimination, and there are tons of video games guys. And here we have the comments they just let slide on through, like Rowling is a good person. Didn't have a problem with that one. And then she had to step away, and then she came back, and then they continued to stream for another 6 hours. And here's the thing, it wasn't even a comment that made her cry from what I could see. It was her and her boyfriend fighting this imaginary angry trans person, and her getting more and more overwhelmed at her defending herself against somebody who...
Alright, is there any more to this one? Nah, not really. But yeah, Jim, by the way, Jim has been bleeding subscribers for years. Let me look it up. Let me look up real quick on Social Blade Jim's numbers, because she's been losing subscriber numbers for years now. Jim Sterling, there we go. Okay, I got full screen. This looks like. Thank you, Social Blade. Let's see. Jim at one point was. Can I look at the monthly? Jim at one point used to be at close to 1 million subs. Now Jim is at 797K. Been bleeding subscribers for a while. In fact, as a way of ironically getting back at the haters, she's been making under, like, the last one she made was an under 900K subscriber special. And now she's made an under 800K subscriber special. So let's hear more complaining, shall we? Let's hear more complaining.
We were celebrating our sub count dipping below 900,000, but here we are, another 100K in the hole, and I am delighted, excited to talk to you all about it, along with some special celebrity well wishes. So please, sit down, get comfy, shut the fuck up, and enjoy.
Hello! I just wanted to say massive congratulations for finally getting below 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, something that so few people...
Yeah, anyway, skip the message.
To it. But anyway, here we are, the under 800,000 subscriber special, a truly momentous milestone that by this point must surely take us into phenomena territory, right? I thought I must be in line for a medal once I reached an impending 10-year anniversary of publishing a weekly YouTube show every week without fail for 10 whole years, but steadily losing 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers a week almost consistently since January 2021? Where's my world record?
You know, maybe it's not the viewer's fault. Maybe it's the creators. You never know. You never know.
Why aren't I in a book? I get a trophy for this, right? When you break it down, phenomena truly is the word for it. I should get a goddamn parade for this shit. There's many things I've accomplished in my time as a media critic, many trails I blazed. I was at the forefront of the loot box debate. I've coined terms that entered the public lexicon. Points of argument I first put forth are cited in discussions to this day. Five Nights at Freddy's was essentially my fault, and I'm sorry for that.
I'm the reason for all the success. I'm the one who made the terminology. It was me, guys. It was all me. I deserve all the credit. That's what she sounds like at the moment. Doesn't sound bitter whatsoever. Am I right, guys? Jim has no real followers. They were all bought. And brain cells. Yeah, no real brain cells.
I invented the word chungus. God, I really should have trademarked that shit before.
No, you didn't. I refuse to believe that Jim coined the term chungus. That was a Reddit thing. I refuse to believe she invented that. I can smell the cope from here. I know, right? I refuse. I absolutely refuse to believe that she came up with the word chungus.
Before Warner Brothers started milking it to bloody death for profit. Anyway, as I was saying, I've done a lot in my long career, but my nadir may very well be the pinnacle.
Congratulations to Stephanie Sterling for finally losing enough subscribers to get under 800,000. Hell yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't have done it without help, of course, from the beloved unsubscribers who took us to this moment. And really, who can say when this train finally derails? It's been going strong, and ultimately, I don't know why the people who have obsessively stalked me ever since I came out haven't taken credit for it. In fact, they seem genuinely offended at the suggestion. I gave the praise where the praise was due. The consistent pattern of sub losses per episode literally started the very day I came out, as I showed last time. And yet...
Okay, you know what? I will throw you a bone, Steph. You know what? Probably were some transphobic people who were subscribed to you. When you did come out, they were very upset by it. You know, I'm not going to. You were probably right. Some of them probably didn't like the fact that you were trans. But to consistently lose that over the next couple of years, it was probably because they don't like your content anymore. Speaking of which, Scott fired an artist the other day for being a pro shipper. What's a pro shipper?
Yet people were offended when, on our last sub special, I theorized that maybe, just
maybe. Wait. Yeah. I remember seeing a screenshot about that. He was like, yeah, I didn't know that the person was doing that. And yeah, I think that's disgusting. And so he fired them, which he's within his right to do so as the game creator.
My coming out in
I'm
front
the
of a
one
crowd
who
of
made
mostly gamers
Junkus
might have been
Jim
related to
White.
that crowd slowly fucking off. I mean, the gamer bros who are attracted to videos saying EA bad every week don't exactly have a track record of positive attitudes towards trans visibility, be it a trans person in games media or a trans character in a video game itself. Yet, even while someone is misgendering you in their protests, should you say they're a transphobe, they'll become incredibly insulted. This is because, as any one of us with this experience can tell you, the accusation of transphobia is treated as more offensive than the actual transphobia.
Hi Stephanie, it's your good friend Simon Miller here, the bald a-hole, and I just wanted to say congratulations on being under 800,000 subs. Nobody could have done it like you. I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you, and I have no doubt that soon you'll be under 700, 600, 500 until you get to that magical 0 figure. So, my friend, keep smashing it, keep being you, keep believing, keep kicking all the ass, and I'll be by your side every step of the way.
It's considered quite taboo to suggest the video game community has a queerphobia problem, despite the years of harassment of LGBTQ+ people.
Yeah, guys, the reason why I'm not successful is because everyone hates me because I'm queer and I'm trans. That's the only reason why. It's not like there are trans creators with an audience that they've been able to maintain and grow. No, it's simply because you guys all hate me. And it's not because I'm insufferable. Not at all. But yeah, that was Jim Sterling being the bitter person Jim Sterling always is. If you enjoy the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. No, serious. I know this was obviously this was an odd way to come back. Obviously, like there's some gameplay here. This wasn't my normal way of going about the morning show. I don't worry, it's gonna get back to the standard format soon enough. I still want to do this daily. I'm going to try my best to do it daily, but I can't guarantee it, at least not now. At least not yet. But this is Nerdy John, signing out. You guys have a good one. Let me get this song. Thank you guys for showing up back to the return stream. I couldn't have done it without you guys. This is Nerdy John, signing out.
Yeah, my cup half full, but that's only cause of ice. If I want it, I'ma cop it, I ain't worried about the price. If you really care, then you shouldn't have left at night. Now you all up on my phone saying shit ain't feeling right. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. okay, feel the same. Yeah, I feel the same. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, feel the same. Yeah, I feel the same. Your name pops on my phone less often. Just know that I'm still an option. I know that you're staying cautious, but just stop it. Just stop it. I might hop up in the Civic, windows tinted. I might drop it coupe. I don't need no hoe, I swear to God, but I might need you. When I'm in the city, you just texting like, well, what we do? Yeah, my cup half full, but that's only cause of ice. If I want it, I'ma cop it. I ain't worried about the price. If you really, really care, then you shouldn't have left at night. Now you all up on my phone saying shit ain't feeling right. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, feel the same. Yeah, I feel the same. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, feel the same.